That's enough of that.
Both of you see what 2.5 years can do. Amazing. 2.5 years ago, you were standing, walking around, holding a different baby. 2.5 years later, you have a personality in your home. You have a mensch. You have a little person with her own mind, communicating, verbalizing, doing what at least a 2.5, maybe a 3.5, maybe a 4-year-old should be doing. You're holding a new baby. We pray and hope that 2.5 years from now, Elliot will be doing what Shane is doing. It doesn't just happen. It takes effort. It takes effort on behalf of the parents. It also takes a little bit of luck, and we have to say some prayers for that. And the prayers, the brachot that we say at a bris, they're not my brachas, they're not Joel Schulzen's prayers. They were written almost 4,000 years ago. I can't take credit for them. They're old. They predate modern medicine, they predate modern psychology, they're older than Dr. Phil. And the essence of the prayers are that we hope and pray that tell Mommy you need a little boy to be up here. I'll give you my card once we're going to pray that your son, Elliot, should grow. That we are going to pray that she can, it's fine with me, as far as I'm concerned. No, it's fine. It's fine. We're going to pray that your son should grow. Physically, educationally, emotionally, spiritually, grow into adulthood, grow into old age. Every step of the way. So right now, the most important thing that you can give your baby, Risa, is nourishment. God forbid if you go to the pediatrician after a week and the baby hasn't gained something, it's critical, it's important. As time goes by, a few ounces isn't so important anymore. In fact, it's not so good. Other things become important. They start walking and talking and verbalizing and doing beautiful things. And that shows the effort that both of you as parents have put into raising this child, and God willing will be putting into raising this child. So as you know, before you know it, in a few short years, this little boy will not be able to be held like this. He certainly will not be nursing anymore. He will be held, you're going to have to hug him like a man. And it's going to feel good too, because you don't always want your baby to be this little. We pray at his bris that 13 years from now, little Elliot should go to his bar mitzvah, coming of age, if you will. And if you listen carefully to the liturgy, we actually pray at the bris that your son should go to his chuppah someday. Can you imagine? You delivered the baby 8 days ago, and I, a virtual stranger, come into your home and say, I'm going to pray for your son to get married. But I don't say soon. I say at the appropriate time. You're going to want him to get married at the appropriate time. And that day, God willing, will come. We actually pray at the bris, as you have become a daddy for the second time, Matthew, your son someday should become a daddy after the chuppah. But today's a day not only about Elliot Jackson Brody's future, it's mostly about his future. It's also a day that we stop and pause and reflect. Because today's the day that when we change the baby physically, and trust me, when I'm done, he's going to look different. He's going to look a little more like his tattoo. We also change the baby's identity. We give him CPR. And the same way that Avraham in the Bible changed his name from Avram or Abram to Abraham when he had his bris at the age of 99 in Genesis. Today, Elliot is going to be named in memory of two great-great-aunts. And I'd like to introduce Matthew, Shayna's daddy, to tell us a little bit about Roberta Parr, three people, Kitty Newman, and Charles Brody.
Okay. Thanks for coming, by the way.
just as it happened, Bris and I both had great aunts that never married, never had children, and that were kind of like surrogate grandmothers to us both. They were both also, we'll say, a little eccentric, maybe a little quirky, but they always made it very known to us how much they loved us and how much they cared about us, and they always made us laugh a lot. So that's where the Yitzhak means laughter in Hebrew, and that's why we named them after Bird and Kitty. And the final name, it's Alon Yitzhak Haskell. My dad's name was Hatzkiel. My uncle always called him Hatz as a short, and this is kind of a variation of that as well. But as having, a son, I want to name him in memory of my father as well. So that's where the name comes from.
Very nice. May the memories of Wilberta, Kitty, and Charles be perpetuated and emulated through this baby. And the memories of others, thank God, through a great-grandmother that is here today, Selma, and grandparents who I'll introduce in a moment, be something that these precious children should have the privilege of learning about as the years unfold. And on behalf of all the generations, those that are here, those that are unfortunately not here, I'd like to invite Susan and Judy to honor us with a grandparent prayer. And I also want to say that they are here, of course, looking down, but they're also here in different ways. The kippah, the yarmulke that Elliot is wearing was made by his great-grandmother, Sylvia Milner, of blessed memory. The Kiddush cup that we're using at the Bris belonged to Oscar Milner, and of course, there are other heirlooms in the home that these children will recognize.
Our hearts are full as we gather to celebrate the birth of our grandchild. We see before us the image of our own children in infancy, and we are filled with emotion as we see them become parents themselves. The joy we feel cannot be put into words, but we know that we and they are truly blessed.
This wonderful baby is a reflection of love, a living echo of generations of hopes, dreams, wishes, and prayers. How grateful we are for permitting us to welcome and embrace this child and to be a part of this ceremony. May this wonderful child always be surrounded by beauty and love.
With joy in our hearts, we celebrate the miracle of creation today. We pray that God protect this precious new life. Help us to be supportive and protective, worthy models of the values and traditions which we treasure and have tried to transmit.
As we rejoice with our children, we pray that they grow together as a strong and happy family and blessed with enduring love. May we be worthy models and privileged to see this child grow into adulthood as a blessing to our families, our community, and to all humanity.
Amen.
So in a minute, we're going to bring little Elliot to his Bris, and this is going to be the order of the ceremony. In a moment. Serena?
Yes.
In a moment, you're going to walk over and you're going to take the baby to his Bris.
Okay, thank you.
You are going to pass him to your husband, Uncle Len. You will bring him closer to the Bris. I know you have a little boy, Evan. Yes. He's safe today. Uncle Len is going to pass Elliot to Aunt Dory. Where is Aunt Dory? Where are you? You said you're fine? Remember, you got to give me the right baby, Dory. Aunt Dory is going to pass the baby, Elliot, to Uncle Josh. Where's Uncle Josh?
Right here.
You will receive the baby. And I know you have two little girls.
Girls.
I said girls. I said girls. Did I not? The moral doesn't make a mistake for us. Charlie and London.
Yeah.
Very nice. Then Josh is going to pass Elliot to Matthew. Now Matthew, whether you're in Philadelphia, whether you're in Manhattan, whether you're in Jerusalem, the moral always turns to the father at this point and says,